What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is doing well. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I think we can all agree upon what was the best gift we received today, and it was watching the Boston Celtics beat the Los Angeles Lakers. Recapping the road trip real quick, it was an impressive one at that. The Celtics go 3-1, and they grabbed some quality wins along the way without Jason Tatum in one of those games, without Kristaps Porzingis. I think we can all agree that we overreacted to that first Warriors loss because the Celtics go on to win the next three by average margin of victory of 24 points. And that average margin of victory goes to show how great this team is. I mean, it's very difficult to go into a West Coast road trip and stomp a couple of quality playoff teams by 20 plus points. It's the fashion in which they did it in. They walked into Sacramento, dropped 144 points. A couple nights later against the Clippers, 145. And tonight against a big, tough, defensive-minded Lakers team, they're scratching 130 points. But let's get into tonight's game. I think my biggest takeaway, or the thing that's on my mind straight away, is how lucky is this team that they have Kristaps Porzingis. He was the leading scorer for this team tonight, finished with 28 points, 2 blocks, 11 rebounds, and he just continuously surprises me how great of a player he is and how well he fits into this team. And I gotta be honest, I didn't watch a lot of Washington Wizard basketball last year, so when the trade happened, all you kept hearing was, yeah, he had his career year, Yeah, but I mean, it's in Washington, so I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how impactful he was as a player. I didn't know if he could contribute to a team like this to compete for a championship. I didn't know if the things he improved on last year would carry over to this team, and that certainly has. The Celtics go into the second half, I think only up 1 point, but KP completely dominated that third quarter and blew the game open a little bit. He hit that three, had the alley-oop, got to the free throw line a couple times, and blocked LeBron James. Besides all the offensive stuff, that's one of the main things I like about KP. Of course, we all know when he's been healthy, he's been a top 10 rim protector in the league. But the last few years, I feel like there's been some talk about him being soft, getting pushed around a lot, but that's just not the case this year. Of course, there'll be some matchups he struggles with because of his weight, like the Bam Adebayos, the Joel Embiids, the Jokic's, but his quick hands, his length, his defensive positioning makes up for what he lacks in that weight department, and the Celtics do some interesting things on defense with him. He's not always on that big, tough physical body on the other team like tonight, Anthony Davis. He didn't really take the Anthony Davis matchup much tonight. We saw Jaylen Brown on him, we saw Drew Holiday on him, and we saw KP kind of in that roamer role like they had Rob Williams with that Ime Udoka team. Shout out to KP, shout out to Brad Stevens for acquiring Kristaps. I just hope he stays healthy for the rest of the season, for the playoffs, because when this core five is together, the Celtics are a tier above everybody else. And yes, that includes the Nuggets, that includes the Bucks, Philly, Minnesota, whoever. The Celtics are better. Getting back to the game, that first quarter was just perfect Celtics basketball on both ends of the floor. Then the second quarter came around, the Lakers picked up the physicality, had Celtics fall back into bad habits. They were taking tough shots, ISO shots. But in that third quarter there, I thought that game really turned around with the KP stuff we talked about, but also giving Derek White and Jason Tatum more control over the offense, and they just continued to make great play after great play. D. White finished with 11 assists tonight, Tatum with 7, but sticking on Derek, this is why I constantly talk about him and why I'm demanding that he has the ball in his hands more. When he has the ball in his hands, he keeps the game in control. He keeps the team poised. He rarely makes mistakes. He's a maestro in that pick and roll. Something as simple as a Derek White pick and roll always leads to a good shot. It's one of the most effective plays in the league. I've always said that in order for this team to win a championship, Jason and Jaylen need to keep up basically the playmaking they're doing right now. They're fine with where they're at, but Derek White's ascent, the way he's seeing the game right now, there's just no excuse not to lean on him. Thinking about the way this roster was constructed and what Brad Stevens has done is kind of insane, because in the playoffs, you need guys who could put the ball on the floor and make plays and score and just do everything. We see those one-dimensional players get played off the floor. We've seen it time and time again. And when this team traded for Derek, I did not know he was this good of a playmaker or would develop into that. I knew he played some point guard in San Antonio when DeJounte was out. I wonder if even the organization saw this development coming. Or maybe it has been there this whole time. He just needed a new role, a new opportunity to bring it out of him. And sticking on the playmaking, let's talk about JT real quick. As I said before, he had 7 assists, and I thought we saw some good things from him tonight. He didn't have his scoring going, had a rough game shooting, but he did a lot of other things to make this team better. Saw a lot of unselfish play. And that's my standard for JT. We don't need him to score 30 tonight on super efficient shooting. Obviously, that would be nice, but this team has the scoring covered for the most part. He's going to get his 25, 28, 30, no matter what. But it's when he doesn't have that going, what else can he do to impact winning? And he's been doing that all year, whether that's on the defensive end, getting boards, offensive boards, or playmaking for others. And if we want to keep it really simple, that's what won this team the game. In the second half there, Derek White, Jason Tatum generated great shots for their teammates, and the Lakers were just kind of unable to do that for themselves. Something else I want to talk about real quick is the Celtics defense and how great it's been all year, specifically Drew Holiday, the quarterback of the defense. It's crazy to see how many people he can guard just on one singular possession, and the adjustments this team makes, not only half to half, not quarter to quarter, but minute to minute to get Drew involved. They're able to mix up coverages. Their physicality has been great. I think that's been spearheaded by Drew. And what makes me really happy is to hear Joe emphasize defense. Last year, we didn't hear much about it. There was just crickets when it came to defense. And at the end of the year, Joe was like, yeah, I just thought I never had to bring that up because we're just such great defenders. But it's been a complete 180 this year. This team is really rounding into a well-oiled machine on that end of the floor. And yes, it's that time we move on to the quick hits. First, I actually want to start off with LeBron James. We hear this over and over again, but it truly is amazing what he's doing at his age. He turns, what, 39 in a few days? I think they said that on the broadcast. But seeing him on the court, being the oldest guy out there, and beating everybody else in transition with the ball in his hands, it doesn't make any sense. But then again, on our side, we got old man Al Horford out there, and he's doing his thing. He's 37, 38 years old. So, I think they're pretty comparable, or I don't know, maybe that's just me. And let's move on to Luke Cornett and Keita. Yes, we're going to talk about the third and fourth centers on this team, but Luke comes back tonight, and what everybody thought would happen did. Keita takes his spot in the rotation. I don't know if it's just a tonight thing. Joe was just trying something out with the matchup with Anthony Davis, but did Luke lose his spot? He might have. Something to keep an eye on going forward. Sam Hauser's in a little bit of a slump here ever since that second Orlando game. He's only made 3 threes. He's 3 for 22. It's pretty rough. I mean, I jinx things sometimes on these shows, and I don't know. I kind of feel like it's my responsibility, but I know he'll come back around. That 6th man of the year talk will pick up again by me. I might be the only one doing that, but I'm going to do it when it happens. Anyway, just a really impressive win. The Celtics didn't have monster performances from the Jays tonight, and Anthony Davis had 38 and 13, an efficient 38 and 13. If you just knew those two things before the game started, you'd be like, yeah, it's probably close, or the Lakers won, but that wasn't the case at all. The Celtics still kind of, other than that second quarter, they were in control of this whole game. A lot of ways to do it, a lot of weapons. I'm excited for this season. I'm excited to see what happens moving forward. But anyways, I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It's the best and easiest way to support. I'm always here after all 82 games, all 82 plus the playoffs. I'm not going anywhere. I will talk to you guys Thursday, December 28th against the red hot Detroit Pistons. Please, we can't be the one that they end that streak too. Anyways, Thursday, December 28th. Talk to you guys then. Peace.